Today, I'm going to do a brief introduction in how you can utilise Power Query to easily get and transform your data for your Excel spreadsheets. So, what exactly is Power Query? Well, it's a data transformation engine that enables you to grab data from many different sources, including multiple Excel workbooks, CSV files, PDFs, databases, and even the web, and then allows you to transform and combine all of these to get meaningful data that then you can use to create things like dashboards. In today's introduction, we're going to take a look at how you can combine the data that exists within your current Excel workbook. But let me know in the comments below if you like short tutorials on getting data from the other sources. Let's head over to the laptop and get straight into it. We have a tab for each month from January to November, all of which have two columns, one for employee name and the other one for sales value. In order to combine these tabs using Power Query, the data in each tab needs to be within an official Excel table, which these all are, and I've named each table the same as the tab name for each month of the year. Let's head up to the Data tab on the ribbon and come over to the left within the Get and Transform Data section. Click Get Data. Here is where you can select the data source type you want to import into your Excel workbook, and as mentioned earlier, there are quite a number to choose from. From this example, we'll come down to the From Other Sources and select Blank Query. This will open up the Power Query editor window. On the left hand side will be a list of all the queries which exist within your workbook. Currently, we just have the one called Query 1. We can rename this by either double left clicking on it or right clicking and selecting Rename. I'll rename it to From Workbook. Up at the top of the window is a ribbon like we have in our usual Excel screen, which you can use to manipulate the data you import. A lot of the most common transformations can be found under the Home tab. The Transform tab holds all the transformations you can apply to existing columns, and the Add Column tab, as the name suggests, holds all the transformations you can apply whilst creating additional columns. Below the ribbon, across the main part of the page, is a formula bar, and we can type directly into this. To import all our data from our workbook, we need to type equals excel.currentworkbook, open and close the parenthesis and press enter. Just a note that Power Query is case sensitive, so if we change the first E in Excel to a lowercase, our query will break. So let's just quickly change that back. We've now got two columns which have been imported from our spreadsheet. The one on the right is the name of the table it has come from, and the column on the left is holding the data stored as a table. If we click on one of the table rows, we can take a peek into what data is being held within the table, and we can see it's got our employee names and sales values. In order to extract the data, we can do this by clicking on the double arrows. This will open a window where we have the ability to select the columns we want to include, and we'll keep both. I'll uncheck the Use Original Columns Name as Prefix and press OK. This has now combined all of the data from the spreadsheet with the name of the month included. We'll make a couple of quick transformations. Let's rename the column Name to Month by double clicking it and typing month. And let's select all of the data by clicking on one of the cells and pressing Ctrl A. Come up to Transform and click Detect Data Type. Power Query will try to automatically determine what type of data exists within the columns, and for employee name and month, text is fine, but I'd like the sales value column to be currency rather than whole number. We can change this by clicking on the data type and selecting currency and replacing the current. We've created 4 steps in our query, and we can see these over on the right hand side under the Applied Steps section. If you click on them, you're able to see in the formula bar exactly what has been done to create the step, and you can amend it directly in the formula bar. For example, if we wanted the column header for month now to say period, we can do this directly in here. You can also amend steps which have involved launching new windows by clicking the cogwheel, which will bring the window back up. Let's now go ahead and load this back into our spreadsheet. To do this, come up to the Close and Load section under the Home tab, and it's best practice to click on the bottom portion with the little arrow. This way, we will get to choose how we load our data. If you just press Close and Load, Power Query's default is to load the data back into your spreadsheet as a table. For this example, we're going to select Pivot Table Report and load to a new worksheet. I'd like to see just total sales by period. So I'll place the period field in rows and then the sales value field under value. This now provides us with a total of all sales by period, which is pretty neat. We've now been sent December's numbers to include in our pivot table, and we can do this incredibly quickly. Simply copy the December tab into our workbook and ensure that it's an official Excel table. Come over to the pivot table, right click and press refresh, and there you have it, December is now included. I hope you enjoyed the short introduction into Power Query and it's got you thinking of ways you can utilise it within your work. If the video has provided value, I'd really appreciate you hitting the like and subscribe buttons, as it goes a long way for my small channel. I look forward to seeing you next time.